There's something I've been noticing in myself lately. The world, it keeps pulling us towards being seen, towards building something visible, something impressive, something that proves that we matter. A platform, a title, a following, even a reputation. And without realizing it, we start to believe that if our life isn't loud, it must not be meaningful. But I've started to wonder if that's actually true, because some of the most meaningful things in my life have been the quietest ones. Not the moments everyone would post, not the moments that everyone would applaud, just the ordinary, faithful, unseen parts of life. Waking up early to take care of my family, showing up to work and doing what I said I would do, choosing patience when I feel tired, choosing honesty when no one would know the difference, choosing to pray when nothing around me feels dramatic or emotional. These moments don't feel big in the moment, but they shape everything. We live in a time where visibility is often treated like value. If people see it, then it matters. If it gets attention, it counts. If it spreads, it's important. But I'm not sure that's actually how life works, because most of what makes a life meaningful never become visible to the world. It becomes visible in a home, in a marriage, in a child's memory, and the way that someone is treated when no one is watching. I think we've confused being noticed with making a difference. And those two things are not the same. There's a kind of pressure today that says if you're not building something big, you're wasting your life. But I don't think God measures life in the way that we do. I think He cares deeply about the things that we overlook: faithfulness, integrity, consistency, love, obedience, the quiet things, the things that don't trend, the things that don't get announced, the things that don't always feel exciting but are deeply important. I'm beginning to believe that something that goes against a lot of what we've been taught by culture. The goal of life isn't always to be extraordinary. Sometimes it's to be faithful with where you are, right now, with what you've been given, in a relationship already in front of you, and the work already in your hands, and the responsibility already on your plate. Because not every calling is loud, and not every meaningful life becomes widely known. In fact, I think most of the most important people's lives that are out there are almost completely unseen. A parent who loves their children well, a spouse who stays faithful through difficulty, a person who keeps showing up when it'd be easier to quit, someone who forgives when it would be easier to hold bitterness, someone who chooses integrity when compromise would be a lot more profitable. Those aren't small things, they're just quiet. Jesus himself lived a life that, for the most part, it wasn't public. Years of hiddenness before public ministry. And even then, much of what he was talking was in small groups. I don't think most people realize that, or one person at a time. That alone should make us rethink what we call important. Because if God himself valued hidden faithfulness, then maybe we should too. It's also, I've realized something else. A quiet life doesn't mean an empty life. It doesn't mean a boring life. It doesn't mean a wasted life. It means grounded. It means a grounded life. A life not so constantly pulled by comparison, not constantly chasing recognition, not constantly measuring worth by attention. There's a freedom in that. When you stop needing your life to be seen by everyone, you become free to actually see the people in front of you, to listen more carefully, to love more fully, to live more present, to stop performing life and actually live it. I don't want to live a life that only looks meaningful from a distance. I want to live a life that's meaningful in places that no one sees. Because eventually, most things people celebrate, they don't last. Titles change, platforms fade, attention moves on, but character stays, love stays, faithfulness is going to stay. The way that you treated people stays. The kind of presence you had in your home, that stays. That's what remains when everything else quiets down. So maybe the question isn't, how can I become more known? Maybe the better question is, how can I become more faithful? Not everywhere, not to everyone, but right here where God actually placed me. I think that's where peace begins to return. When you stop trying to prove that your life matters and you start trusting that faithfulness already makes it matter, even if no one else sees it, even if no one else applauds it, even if no one else ever knows, because God sees it. And maybe that's enough. If my life is quiet but faithful, if my days are ordinary but consistent, if my work is unseen but honest, if my love is simple but real, then maybe I haven't missed my life. Maybe I've actually found it. And maybe the quiet life isn't small at all. Maybe it's exactly the kind of life that lasts. And you know what it is, man. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining me on this beautiful day. And until next time, peace.